Hi, this is Aaron Young, CEO of Laughlin Associates and the author of the best-selling book, The Corporation Manual. A lot of times people will come to me and they'll say, well, should I be a C-Corp or an S-Corp or an LLC? What would be the right entity for me? And while there are lots of different things to consider, there are a couple of very simple questions that you should ask yourself, and they will pretty much steer you in the right direction. So the first question is, who's going to own the company? The reason you ask that question is this: if there's going to be one owner, a lot of times an S-Corporation is going to be perfect. If there are going to be two or more owners and they're not married, and they're all going to come in and be actively involved, then a limited liability company may be the right thing because of the flexibility, because of the way you can divide stuff up. LLCs are great for that. But if you say we're going to raise outside money, we're going to go out and get venture capital money and so on, we're going to have a fund invest in us, we're going to have people from other countries that are going to buy shares, we're going to have the opportunity of maybe going public someday. Well then, in that situation, you want to look at a C-Corporation. So who's going to own it and where's the money going to come from? The money's going to come from venture capital. It's going to come out of my pocket. It's going to come from a group of us joining together. All of those situations are going to almost certainly steer you to a different business entity. So those are the first two questions. Who's going to own it? Where's the money coming from? The third thing that's very important to think about is, what's my exit? When I get done with this little project, am I just going to close it down? Am I going to have an asset that I can actually sell? Is this going to be something I want to pass down to my children? So what's the exit? What's going to happen when I'm done with this business? Well, that brings up another interesting question. Where should the corporation or the LLC be domiciled? All right, now, a couple more rules of thumb. One is, if you are doing most of your business in one place, in other words, you're going to be a plumbing contractor and you're going to have a half dozen vans driving around your city, your state, doing business in that place, odds are the business entity ought to be in what we would call a home state corporation or a home state LLC. Maybe you're going to be doing business in lots of different states. You're going to have offices set up in different places, and you're going to have employees working for you in multiple jurisdictions. Well, in that case, we're going to really want to look and say which state is going to provide the best legal protection and the best tax advantage for the main holding company, the mothership of that company that's got all these diverse holdings. So that's a whole kind of deep dive discussion. The other thing you want to think about is maybe you're going to make all of your money online. Maybe 100% of your sales are going to happen through orders over the internet. Well, there's a reason why barnesandnoble.com and Amazon are all domiciled in Nevada. Nevada has all kinds of unique laws that make it very, very advantageous to use a Nevada corporation to sell stuff, especially online. Now, if you're going to hold large amounts of inventory, Nevada's got some other cool things that we'll want to talk about, like no rolling inventory tax. That doesn't apply to most of you, but if you've got inventory, Nevada is a reason. You know, there's a reason why Visa processes all their charges through the lakes, Nevada, because there's no state income tax and there's protection. So you want to say, do I want to operate in my home state, or do I want to go to a specialized state like Nevada or like Wyoming? Or am I considering being acquired by a publicly traded company, or am I going to go public myself? Then I should be looking at Delaware, because virtually every publicly traded company is a Delaware company. The law is easily understood by people like lawyers who work in publicly traded companies. And if you're a Delaware company, you're an easier acquisition. See, it might seem complicated, but for those of us who do this all the time, if you sit down and talk with one of our consultants and really tell them your story, not just where you are today, but where you're trying to go, we can very, very quickly identify what's going to be not only the right business structure, but what's going to be the right jurisdiction that's going to give you the smoothest path to your own success. that will give you the easiest route to your exit, or will give you the greatest advantage coming back to you when it comes time to sell the company and you're going to bring all that wealth that you've built back into your household. It takes a little bit of knowledge and it takes a little bit of effort at the beginning, but if we can have that conversation and if we can get you to sit down a little bit and think about, where do I want to go? If we begin with the end in mind, we can create a really great structure to help you get exactly where you want.